We're good to go. I hope I don't
We
echo
did
this
it.
time. You guys will have to
Yeah.
let me
Well,
know if I'm echoing
You
because,
sound great.
well, I'm not going to echo on here.
Why
On
not?
you know,
stream.
I started hearing an echo, but it was because I'm like on the Twitch stream, and then I didn't have it muted.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
what's happening? Anyway, hello, Penem. We're so
Hello.
happy to bring you back here. We're looking a little bit different than we were the first time. I know that you're very disappointed. Someone gave me hell about not cosplaying. I'm like, look, that's a lot of work, and y'all actually did more work than I did. I think with the makeup and everything, both of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
put
can
in
see my
very
ghost
little
in
effort.
Caesar's background.
I literally just did like the makeup that I would do when I was in my scene phase, and that was it. So it was so natural, just cake my face in makeup and do like the
Well,
really
it was
big
beautiful.
eyeliner.
It was stunning, and the
Oh,
uh,
thank
the
you.
the leopard print.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't actually wearing leopard print. I should. I was
Oh,
wearing
maybe it
just
was that you
black.
talked about it, and my memory just leaned on. That's
Yeah.
what it was because we talked about the
Yeah.
velvet. Yeah, yeah,
Because I
yeah.
And
literally
then
only
it was
wear
it was
leopard
the
print.
day of, and you were just like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, you were like working on so much other like tech stuff. In fact, that's like probably one of our better like starting points here. Like how much time do we think each of you has put into the server in the last like week?
The server?
Yeah.
Oh, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I literally don't think. Yeah, Erica goes a fucking lot of time, which, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I.
Erica basically lives on this thing.
Yeah, I basically have like two full-time jobs now.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Honestly, I might have spent more time. No, I definitely have spent more time on this than my full-time career. Although hopefully no one from there is watching this.
I know. Oh my gosh.
And then Dan is like,
I have an excuse.
Yeah.
yeah, signing off of his
I
job.
know. We're gonna miss you so much. Even though I never work with you.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think I've ever
no.
been in a single meeting with you.
Aw,
Mm, that's
I
a
should
shame.
I
I
know.
shouldn't say Dan. I should say Seneca. Everyone knows you as Seneca.
Yeah.
They're gonna know our secrets. They're gonna know our real names.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna dox both of you.
The name Dan
Doxed us.
really
I
narrows it
know.
down.
Yeah, it is. Well, then they have the wood door and the white walls. I mean, that's a dead
Oh.
giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Living somewhere in the United States based on your accents. Gonna find you.
Okay, so getting into our first like big topic here. Obviously, hopefully this is a reminder. Let me start us by saying, if you are a tribute and you are watching this either right now or you're watching it up to 12 hours later, which I think is how long the videos on demand is going to last.
It lasts for
Please.
14 days.
Oh snap. Okay, well
Mm-hmm.
the voidlings are gonna lose their shit.
Yeah.
Um, well, all of you should know, unless you are already dead, in 14 days from now, probably some people are going to be dead.
Yeah. Maybe.
Unless you're already dead, please do not watch this video.
Yeah, get
And
the
so
hell
now
out
is
of
your
here.
chance to sign off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, pausing.
Or
They're
we'll
signing
delete
off.
you.
Or yeah, we will.
Literally, yeah. And in a very creative way, and I don't think that you want that.
No.
Yeah.
We will take great pleasure in your death.
Tigress more so than anyone, I think.
Oh yeah, I have some tricks up my sleeve.
Although, is it safe to say that most of those tricks are going to be saved for season 3?
Oh, is this a big reveal of Tigress is doing the season 3 arena?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, we didn't say that. We never confirmed that.
No, never.
No, definitely not.
No, that's all speculation. That's fake news.
Okay, so now that we are completely tribute free. Oh wait, people are chatting. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Now that we're tribute free, who's your favorite? What happened this week? What's going on? How are you feeling about the season so far?
My
Um,
favorite is any tribute that isn't super fucking corny right now.
Let's talk about that. So that's been a big chat among the GMs. Like it seems like everyone in the audience is like woo, and then all the tributes are like I love you and you and you, and then like sneaking off to the forest questionably.
Mm.
But then the GMs are like fuck no stop.
You guys are supposed to be killing each other in like, a couple in-game days, and Yet here you all are.
I mean, if I was in that
Sinners.
situation, I would definitely be horny, but um, also some of them are children, and I'm hoping that things are staying above board there.
There has been a couple of um cross 18-year-old
Yeah.
boundary, nothing like overt, but enough to where we were like, should we shut it down?
Yeah.
This is like one of the many reasons why when we were like, hey, we really don't want children in the season, that's like one of the reasons. It gets really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun. And I am interested to see how the culture of the role playing ends up evolving the more seasons we
Yeah.
have, because I think right
It's so
now,
different this
oh
season.
my
So
gosh,
different.
last season only had like half of the tributes that actually cared
Yeah.
or
And even
had the
still the role
time.
playing, I mean, even still with the role playing, it was like not it was almost like an afterthought
Yeah. Yeah, especially
in a lot of
during like
cases.
the training grounds and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there was definitely some role play in there. But if I look away for 15 minutes, I suddenly miss like 5 alliance channels getting created. The amount of pings that I have to create new alliance channels is ridiculous. So
I do, yeah, I do actually miss specifically Lane's style of out of game
yeah.
internal monologuing. I wish there was
Yeah.
more of that. There
Yeah.
has been a little
Yeah.
bit of it, but I really like that.
And I
Yeah.
think that we're going to see a lot of that more once people split up a little bit. At least that's my
Hmm.
hope, because I would love to see the thought process. And I would also love to be able to see them talking through their decision making. Like Lore, for instance, with like her being obsessed with like everybody. I would love to see what she's thinking. And I tried to get it out of her, and she knew I was interrogating her. I could tell, and she didn't
Yeah.
tell me anything. I would love to know, like, where her head is at. Like, which of these people does she actually trust? Because it seems like she is playing a lot of fields here, and not all of them are
Yeah.
ones that I think that she's gonna stick with. So with situations like that, I would love to see a lot
Yeah.
more dialogue internally and in the tribute channel. But I feel like that'll happen once they all get into the arena.
I think that once the situation with the bloodbath becomes clear,
Mm-hmm.
Off there for a second.
once the situation with the bloodbath becomes clear, that's when they're gonna start having to make like critical decisions about like who they are more or less loyal to.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think
absolutely.
I think that going into season 3, that might be something that we can kind of like prime them for.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Kind of like almost explicitly write out like this is your tribute channel. These are the things that you can do in your tribute channel. One of them is like let the viewers know out of game like what you're thinking. I think that one thing that's kind of surprised me, but in the best possible way, for from Tigress and Senna, were y'all's kind of like mid preparation interviews. They're so good. They're so personal and like it just feels so real in a way that like while I'm really enjoying the interviews, I love that process. It is meant to be big theater, but to
Right.
see them kind of in the room, it's such a powerful experience.
Yeah. And I mean, who hasn't like gossiped with their stylist while they're getting their hair washed? Like
Yeah,
that's prime time to dish your entire life story and tell them all of your secrets.
D-
So,
de- definitely I have. So,
oh yeah, yeah.
oh, okay. Funny story, actually.
Uh-oh.
If you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I did actually have a former stylist, and my former stylist was Darian Lake from season I think 7,
Six.
What the
6.
hell?
Yeah.
That's
So like I.
crazy.
I was Pandora Box from season 2. I was her publicist, and then yeah. So Darian Lake was like her best friend, and so Darian is a close friend of
Pandora
mine.
box. Oh my
I
god.
hate almost every RuPaul's Drag Race queen that I meet in person, but Darian Lake is very sweet.
Oh, Darian is just incredible. Yeah, such a good person. Yeah, Darian's amazing. But anyway, so that's a
I'm
funny
so
story.
mad.
Okay, so so I want to like turn it to the audience that we have here on Discord. I know that someone Drew that I think it was Drew. Yeah, Drew, you unmuted. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but did you have thoughts? Like, what are you thinking of the season so far?
Oh, I need to unserver mute them.
I did not mean to unmute, my bad.
That's okay.
I thought that might have been the case.
Oh,
It's
these are
like those
individual
Zoom
mutes.
meetings all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put my phone in my pocket, but so far, I am really enjoying it. I have my favorites, obviously, and I've
Who
been
is
pretty
who?
vocal
Yeah.
No,
so
you
far.
can't come on here
What do you mean,
and tease us.
obviously? I don't know who your favorite is.
I've been vocal about it in chat. I mean, Lorelai is one of my favorites, and somehow Flower moved his way in there.
What changed
I
for
really like.
Flower? What inspired you to change your mind on him?
So going into the RP scene that we did for their reaping, whatever, I like got it in my head like, okay, I'm not gonna like Flower because he's like a little like rebellious teenage little shit, and so I got it in my head, okay, we're not gonna like Flower, and then just something about the moves he was making and like he's smooth with it, man. You can't deny it. Game recognized game.
Yeah, I love that he is so two-faced. Like he's so boldly and he's a bard, right? So that like
Yeah.
the perfect like he's like everything is a performance and
Yeah.
I am eating that up. I
And from
love
a
that.
metagame standpoint too, it's a lot easier for because they are being very careful with like using roles in their role play with the actual dice to help set the scene, etc.
Love
Like
that.
Mm-hmm.
this man can deceive. He has the proficiencies to do so, at least by merits of being a bard. So it is really interesting to see how much he's gone into it. And your point about rebellion is also really interesting. We see a lot more rebellion coming up in this season than we did in the last season. Last season,
One thing
Flower redeemed himself in his evaluation, though. I do
Yeah.
want to point out. Yeah.
I'm
for sure.
curious to see how much of that was an act.
Well, I'm sure it all was, but that's all we need.
Yeah, that's true.
I can go ahead and tease though that the Capitol, not us as people, but us as characters, the Capitol is none too happy about how the interviews are going. And all I can say is that the Capitol will be heard on this matter.
Oh yeah, and also
We'll
don't
leave it there.
forget that all of our like in-game characters are level 20s, and we definitely already have stat blocks. So if you're gonna fuck with us, like, good luck.
Do you think? Okay. This came up in chat once. Do you think 4 level 20 game masters could take 24 level 1 tributes?
Oh, completely, because Tigris is a freaking fiend warlock. I'm telling you, Crown of Stars, bonus action hit people. There's a hurl through hell feature, which makes them disappear for an entire round, and then you can fireball. Like,
what do you think, Seneca?
They're screwed. I could take out the entire thing in one turn.
All you need is a good fireball from a 20th level character, and I feel like all of us would have fireball, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that Caesar would be a bard, so I don't know.
Oh, Caesar wouldn't have
Caesar
fireball.
would have
The rest of us
fireball.
would.
Yeah, what would Seneca's class be?
Well, people were saying Artificer, but I also like Eldritch Knight, so really they're pretty similar in terms of build.
I don't know. I think I would be mostly bard, but I'd be multi-classed with some amount of warlock. Because he's made a deal with the devil, kind of, right? He's sort of like
totally.
He's sort of like subservient to them and has to and that's where he gets his power.
I think Caesar Flickerman is an Archfey warlock, to be perfectly honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Okay. This
like
is
he looks he looks like he hangs with the fairies. Like.
Oh yeah.
He does. Yeah. He's very fairy-like.
So when I run Wild Beyond the Witchlight, you're bringing Caesar Flickerman into my campaign, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'll absolutely roleplay Caesar Flickerman.
Yeah.
As long as this is play by post. Is it? Wait.
Oh no, I don't run play by post in my own.
No. Oh god. Well, actually, role playing.
Really
actually, role playing Caesar Flickerman is so difficult to do.
No, you're literally him in real life. Like, you're fine.
No. Okay, to answer your question, Senna, what would Senna be?
Yeah, what would Senna be?
What do we think? Audience, maybe?
I don't.
Let's see. I'm gonna randomly. Anyone in the audience, you can like with us here in Discord, you can unmute yourself if you want and take a stab at it if you have an idea.
I mean, there is such a thing as Glamour Bard, so
Right, but isn't Caesar a glamour bard?
Caesar's an Archfey Warlock. I don't know what
Oh,
you're talking
so he's
about.
not multi-classing at all. He's just straight up warlock.
That's up to Caesar, but I think Archfey Warlock all the way.
Oh, so we have two
I
warlocks in this party then.
well, I can't say that I've like well, okay, the reason. Okay, audience, the reason that like everyone else makes like game related like technical decisions is because I have a bad memory. I played D&D forever, but if you ask me what some like Archfey Warlock, I don't remember what that is. I don't know what that is. I would have to like read about it, so I don't know.
Your patron is basically a powerful fairy.
I'm in. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Erica
Then in that case, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Erica brought up that Cinna might be paladinish, which I actually kind of agree with.
I could
Yeah,
see
okay.
that.
I
Yeah.
could totally see that.
A little bit of a
very
Bardadin.
A very like charismatic, very sexy paladin. I'm just saying. You can't balk me
We
in person.
can't escape from the horny, even in the real life chats.
Look, I am the thirstiest gay that you'll ever meet.
Oh my god.
It's true. It's true.
I remember
okay, so-
distinctly the first thing that you ever said to me personally
Oh,
was
no.
when I made a comment about, because people were getting horny during the bloodbath, and I made a comment like, man, everybody's so horny in here, and you went, have you ever met a gay?
Oh my god. Yeah, we're too much, truthfully.
That was when I knew that I was gonna make you be my best friend.
Aw. And here we are.
Yeah.
You know, actually, let me call this out real quick. Earlier today, no, in a good way. Earlier today, Cynic and I were just like chatting as a couple does, and we were talking about potential, like if this continues growing at the pace that it is growing, if it gets really big, you know, would we ever need more GMs? And we were just talking about how that would be sad because the dynamic. Now, granted, mystery audience member is kind of chimes in every now and then, but the core of it is sort of us four, and the dynamic is so good. Like we're all so close that it would be really dangerous and scary to like introduce someone else into that.
We would also
so we're
have
really
to
grateful.
find like another gay too, because like we can't ruin the streak.
No straights. No
We have
straights
to
allowed.
be
It's illegal to
discriminatory.
be straight in our server.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I don't make the rules.
If you're straight, you're on notice.
Oh my god.
Strike one.
Who let us go onto a stream, honestly?
Yeah, I didn't know exactly how this. I was worried it would be stilted, and it's anything but we're also all over the place, and hopefully that's totally fine.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. Okay, so I want to involve the audience member here a little more. If you are in the Discord voice chat, I'm gonna kind of assume. I'm holding this. I hold things. I don't know. I'm gonna assume that you kind of like are comfortable chatting, so I'm just gonna like randomly call on you. If you decide like, oh shit, I don't want that, then just watch us on Twitch. Probably is the safer bet. So I'm gonna say, let's go to one spicy meme. What are your impressions of the season so far, and do you have any favorites?
Everyone's about to drop off.
I know.
Yeah, we lose everybody.
No,
we actually
gained
gained
more
one.
people. Someone heard you say that and I was like, I want to go talk.
Aw.
Okay, one spicy meme is unmuted. What do you got? One spicy.
So far, I feel like it's ultimately probably not going to be the like the actual class builds that are going to like be the deciding factor. I feel like it's going to be more who's able to like keep their alliances stable, because like in cases with people like Lore, you know, having so many other like you know groups, it might be likely that they see a whole bunch of people just saying, well, whose side are you really on? We can't all live in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's something that's been like a major topic in the last week or so is how are these there are so to your point, Tigris, there are so many alliance channels, an impossible amount.
Yes.
And so what is going to happen day one when everyone's like, oh, by the way, we have to kill each other and we
Yeah.
have to make a decision on who we're with.
Not
And
only
by the way, lore specifically is teasing that she has a crush on someone else and won't tell her alliance people who it is.
Do we know?
So
she is
we do.
like, you know how every reality TV show has like kind of the sloppy bitch character? That
Mhm.
is totally lore in this, and I love
Mhm.
it. But it is interesting because there is some splintering going on in these larger alliances already, and we've been seeing these channels getting created of smaller and smaller groups that are sort of there for the alliances to, like, you know, give them a chance to talk to each other, not in that alliance channel. We see this a lot with Clementine too, which surprised me because she came in like, I remember she DM'd me like, I'm really shy about this. I don't know if I want to get into alliances. And I'm encouraging her, like, just go, like, talk to people. It's fine. And suddenly she's in tons of alliances and is like starting some shit in a good way. She's like calling people out. And I'm like, you go. What's going to be interesting too is think about the fact that we have these different coins. Not only are people like freaking out over which ones to choose, they're also strategically picking different ones than the rest of their alliance. With
I
the
was so
assumption,
glad Lana chose the snake.
Why? We be careful because we're like we can't at all hint what the coins are about. But why would you? Why is that the case?
Just because some people who appeared to have it out for her were hoping that she would pick a certain coin. And then I guess either didn't talk to her about it or like she didn't listen. I have to catch up on things, but
yeah.
she ended up going a different route, and I'm very glad she did.
Erica
So
points
one.
out that it's going to be a real surprise to these tributes too when they read back in the alliance chats after they die.
Oh
Which
my
is
God.
another thing that is very fun about being a viewer. You get access to all of these. When you die as a tribute, you become a viewer. So if you are a dead tribute, you get to see everything. And granted, there might be just way too much stuff for these people to be
This
able to
time. Oh
actually
my
read
God.
all of it. Oh my
That-
god.
that's one of my favorite things actually about like about the whole process as a viewer is to because even though we're game makers, we're also watching it happen.
Yes.
And one of my favorite parts is seeing a tribute who has just like been eliminated and then comes to the viewer lounge and they're like, oh fuck, and then they start posting screenshots of like and they're like, what? You know, I love that. That's like
Yes.
my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up. I wanted to go back to one spicy memes point actually because last season I'll post this to everyone and then maybe another viewer as well. So last season, I think the final three were oh my god, some druids, moon druids,
Moon Druids. No, Amara was a
Warlock.
warlock. Was she a
warlock. Okay, got it.
fiend warlock?
I'm trying
Uh,
to remember. I know that she had the phase step ability, but I think that was because she was in a Ladrin, right?
Yes, that's correct. I feel
Yeah.
like she was a fiend warlock.
but the point.
Yeah.
So the final two were moon druids, and that's like one subclass of many. Do we think that to one spicy memes point that was coincidental and really the social game got them to the final two, or do we think and thus like everyone's playing this like really smart game, or like this time around we have bards, we have like people I'm sorry, we have builds that people were avoiding in season one because they were perceived as too weak, but now are built more around the social game. Do we think it's evolving in that way? Like, which one's more important?
Yeah,
So
that's
honestly, I think the druid thing was a coincidence because having run all the encounters, I can't point to like a single instance where Ethan's or Thyra's subclass actually made the difference necessary to win the encounter, right?
yeah, I would agree. And I also think that it's kind of too early to see a meta truly come out.
Yeah.
And I think that it's good that we made the adjustments that we did in the off season to really balance the game out and make it more interesting and to make the encounters seem more fair, especially for a PvP environment, because going completely rules as written in PvP isn't gonna work because PvP is not ingrained in 5e.
Yeah.
But we have so many more classes to the point that I cannot think of, I think we have pretty much.
We've covered all of them.
Yeah.
We confirmed, yeah.
We legitimately have covered every class. So I think that it's going to be really interesting to see which ones come out victorious, especially since there has been a much more emphasis on the social games. So like look at like bards and sorcerers, for example. Those would be considered super weak. And
yeah, but pre-game, I actually pre-season, I had mentioned this in chat a couple times that I think playing a bard for everyone is going to want you to stay alive as long as you can because of all the benefits that you can provide.
Yeah.
So playing a bard for their social game is like really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the social game is a lot more powerful than people think it is. Like, you know, think about like the alliance between Thyra and Ethan and Amara. They had a very strong alliance where they definitely had each other's back and they were able to make it to the end. There weren't that many alliances that were that large. Literally the only other large alliance was the Disaster Gaze. So there's like these two alliances that like went head to head.
That was so exciting.
I know, and I'm still salty at the dice, but it is really fascinating to think about what this might look like with so many alliances now, because there are so many, and there's the big alliances that have been kind of splintering, but then there's also the tiny like sub alliances.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know how this is going to play out. And there's also going to be questions too of like when they get like if they're separated in the arena at any point. Like, think about what happened with, like, Edisrock and Lithuania, where they, like, went off to do something completely innocuous, and then the rest of their alliance was like, what are they doing? This is shady as hell. Let's leave them.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
the whole thing, I think it was just, like, a lapse of thinking... Not to say that they were both really good role players, but I just think and really all the way around in the whole alliance, I think everyone sort of just wasn't thinking very like critically and in game, and so it just became awkward. So I wanted to throw this next question at a viewer, and then we'll turn it back to us. I'm gonna go with. Do we have our archivist? She disappeared. I'm gonna go with Zarsha here. So Zarsha, we've been talking about alliances a lot. What has been your like favorite alliance, and also, and it might be a different answer, which one do you think will win?
Ooh.
I see you try to talk, but you're muted.
Push to talk. Sorry, pals. Any alliance Pollen is in is.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Zarsha, we lost you.
I hate technology, guys. This is why I don't do this.
Well, you're back for now.
Anything Pollen is doing to save Ro has just become my favorite. So, like, all of the little alliances she's worked herself in for. However, I honestly think... I can't remember their alliance name. But the alliance that Gary got into, they're playing really smart. And I think they're going to be, like, our secret underdogs who, like, end up winning.
And I would say, like, off the cuff, you know, I think all of us GMs, I don't know if y'all are like stay caught up, but I know I'm running interviews and stuff. So that the alliance channels I'm just not even touching. And so normally, like last season, we oh yeah, it's blank alliance, and this time I'm like I have no fucking idea, like no idea whatsoever. Do y'all know right off? Or can someone help us?
Oh gosh.
Do you mean
so
Team Phoenix?
Is it Team Phoenix?
Yeah. Yes, Team Phoenix. They're like.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think they're like
they
gonna come out of
happen?
left field.
Sorry, what were you saying, Zarsha?
I think Team Phoenix is gonna come out of left field and just like take it. They're gonna be the winner.
So Team Phoenix has Safiria, and Safiria is not even close to doing her. Well, she probably is close to doing her eval, but like this is contingent on her being able to pick the bird once she gets to the end of her evaluation, because I think these are people planning on picking the bird token.
So,
Okay.
question. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this, Seneca. Is there a limit to the tokens?
We can't. No,
We
no.
can't?
We're
Okay.
already talking about them way too much. So
Okay.
Dan,
Yeah.
Seneca, what you just said, you need to not. Like the tokens, we have to leave it completely open. No one knows. We're leaving it that way.
That's
So
why I
who's?
paused awkwardly in the middle of it.
I
But it's
know,
fine.
you did, and then you continued to say stuff that you probably shouldn't have. So let's just
We're
not.
just so excited.
But yeah, it's gonna be. I will say that it's gonna be a pretty wild, beginning to the game. So to Zarsha's point, Team Phoenix. Who is in Team Phoenix? So I heard Gary and I heard Safiria. Who else?
I'll go look.
Uh,
Lorelai, Ayla, Augustine, Saphira, and Gary.
That's a pretty core group, and they're all fairly active.
mhm.
And this might end up being the one that Lorelai might stick with the most because she's getting into all this drama with all of the others, especially the straights. I would not be surprised if she like completely blindsides all of them right when they're getting into the bloodbath.
You think Lorelai will go against Flower?
Yes. This
Is
might
Laura-
just be wishful thinking. I really want her
Yeah.
to kick him in the face. Literally,
Is Lorelai?
Go ahead.
Sorry, who is the one that is sort of like flirting with or like is it Ayla and Safiria? Who is Safiria having a thing with?
Ayla.
Yeah, okay, all right. I think and oh god, I hope this isn't offensive. I think sometimes I get Ayla and Lorelai like mixed up in my head. I'm not sure why. I know that they're both like really charismatic and dynamic. So maybe I'm like kind of putting them in the same sort of like.
It is so hard for me to remember which tribute each one is, especially the ones that are not like my tributes.
Yeah. I mean, they're 24. I mean,
There's so many.
the reason that like shows like Survivor and Big Brother, they start off really slow and then they give you lots of like character building time because it's so hard to like actually identify with characters when there's so many like that.
Yeah.
By the way, our chat absolutely freaked out when I was like shutting down the coin conversation. they're very angry with me.
There's even more I want to say, but I won't.
I don't know what to tell you.
The
worst
part is I don't even know all of this.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point. So like Seneca founded this whole thing. Got me involved a little bit later after he had kind of like signed a bunch of people up in season 1. And so we have this like weird dynamic where Seneca and I are like living together and chatting about stuff all the time, and so we'll like come up with these side like game design plans, and a lot of them that the other geos are absolutely a part of, and as I have definitely not confirmed whatsoever, one of them may or may not be coming, or like what should I say, designing the season 3 arena. But there are some things that like even Tigress and Senna don't know, and it's just Seneca and I. And I think hopefully I do that to some degree. I say we do that to some degree to kind of like even y'all get surprised every now and then, you know?
Yeah.
Is that fun?
And
is that fun?
Yeah, and it's nice because, and like I can just let the viewers in on the dynamic right now. Like Sin and I have so much responsibility in terms of like helping build the community, and we don't make decisions about like the community as a whole without input. And it's great. There's a lot of collaboration there. But when it came to the arena, I don't know what's going on. All that I know is like every now and then like one of those two will be like, oh, so we're doing this, and we're just like, okay.
Well, that's gonna be you next season. So that'll be
we're
exciting.
officially confirming it.
Oh wait, no, I meant it'll be someone else.
Yeah,
it'll
it's
be
definitely
not
not
me
gonna be
this
me.
season. Well, this season actually, I would say that like everyone, like we've had some brainstorming among all geos, but in terms of like the overall concept and high end design of the arena, that was my responsibility this time.
Yes.
Of course, Seneca did season 1, so we're handing that off in season 3, and then hopefully the 4th member who shall go unnamed might help design season 4. So that's the idea.
Gosh. And I'm just gonna say, like, when y'all see what the arena is like,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I'm so excited.
It's very much going to blow everybody's mind, and I don't think that people are going to be able to conceptualize what this is going to be like because they're thinking inside the box too much.
Yep, I actually in the hub we had a conversation like kind of in between the seasons, and we talked about I kind of opened the doors and was like, okay, speculate. What do you think? And there were a bunch of ideas, and we actually jotted some of them down. Some of them were really good, but none of them were like anywhere close to what the arena is going to be like.
And I like that because people are going to very quickly realize that we are not operating within the confines of what
we're not operating.
We're not operating in the confines of what people think D&D is going to be like. It is completely going beyond what anybody would come up with, and that kind of sets the stage for like we can throw whatever the hell we want at you. Like reality be damned. Good luck. You guys
that's
can't
exactly
prepare at all.
That's exactly my thoughts. Is that like we have like the great part of doing fantasy is that you have no limits. You can do whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We're making it very clear in the second season.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. And so I think after season 2, people are gonna go into season 3 much more. Let me say, much less confident in their builds and what items are needed and like and like the assumptions. I think you audience members, you don't realize that you're making assumptions, but you are, and season 2 is going to break those assumptions, and I think season 3 will continue that trend.
Yeah, assumptions about like which strategies work, especially from a metagaming standpoint. There was a lot of talk in the off season about, you know, which classes are going to be best, and being able to like get certain equipment or cast certain spells. All of that is going to depend on the arena, right? And a lot of people are just assuming that it's going to be working for everybody equally, etc. Like the arena is not a guarantee, and everybody is kind of going to be going in blind. And I think that the season 3 designer is really excited for that because everybody's going to be so scared, and it's going to play right into the season 3 designer's hands. And the designer already knows exactly what they're doing, so we can go into season 3 real quick.
It's going to be so exciting. Well, let's. I'm like, we got to figure out how long we're going to have in between the season at some point. Because we definitely want some downtime to have like, I don't know, a life.
What?
But
you
like,
have a life? What?
and there might be even like, so y'all, Seneca has done all of our like kind of back end database stuff, and I mean he's doing stuff that I think genuinely might be the first time it's ever been done, like ever on Twitch. I'm sorry, on Discord, and I think that you know, we might want to add more features, but this time I think we need to lessen the load because Seneca's been under a lot of pressure.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, let's say season 3 and 4 have some short off seasons without much being added, while we can go back with season 5 with something huge and crazy, which might.
We're adding a whole lot this season.
Oh my god.
See,
I mean,
season
we probably
5 can be our quarter quell. Just throwing that out there.
Like an all-star season. All right, you heard it here first. Season 5 all-stars. Just kidding, but maybe not kidding.
I'm telling
Who knows?
You, 12 tributes, 12 mimics. Which one wins?
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
That's amazing. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna moving on to like this past week. I know Laura, we haven't come to you yet, so I'm coming to you, Laura. Our interviews are underway. I think almost all of them are underway now. So several of them are completed. What has been your favorite? Has any of them like surprised you? How are you feeling about the interviews so far? What do you think? I see you as unmuted, but we don't hear you yet.
Oh, I have push to talk. That's why.
Hooray!
Oh my goodness. The interview has pretty much solidified my favorites.
Who are?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you guys that.
What?
Why not?
Well, I don't want anybody to sabotage my favorites. I want them to win.
Nobody would do
Oh.
that to you. You're like a fan favorite viewer around here. Nobody would be mean to you.
Oh, thank you
You're
guys.
too fierce. Like,
Oh
I've
my
gotta
God.
say, the fashion channel is like my favorite. I wish I could dress like that every day.
See, I'm not a fashion person, but like when you Google couture, there's all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh
so.
yeah,
Sure,
I
yeah.
definitely googled some cow print couture for one of the tributes.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
not enough.
So what do you think? So it solidified your favorites, but
Yeah.
you aren't gonna say those. But give us more thoughts.
Well, for one thing, there's a lot of channels. It is hard for me to keep up because I too
Yeah.
have a life. So I try to keep up with like the kind of like the main channels where the drama's going down. Like Second Degree Burn, there's a lot of drama there.
Gotta catch up.
And some of the ships like Lore's drama. Oh my god.
I feel
Well,
like
for the-
Second Degree Burn is always the first Alliance channel I check when I need to catch up.
I know.
Yeah, me too. Well, and also
Yeah.
Lore, and I'm also Lore. It's okay. It's fine. 100% fine. But it's just like sometimes they think it's like, wait, it's not me.
I have done the same. Okay, I wasn't gonna say it, but I've done the same thing. It's jarring to see you commenting in the audio chat because I'll be like, "What?" And then wait, the
Shouldn't
other
be,
Lord.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I have like Ragna on there first because she's kind of my viewer persona.
Right.
So, who I
So
am
how's-
in love with.
Fill us in about the lounge. So like I had to just duck out because I'm so underwater and I just can't. But I cannot wait to go back and read the Crimson Lounge. But what's been going on in there? How's it going?
It's been fun. There's been some like also some rebellious stuff going on in there. Ragna's
Okay.
kind of neutral in that respect. She's just like, yeah, whatever. Just give me the PMDs.
Greedy.
There's some flirtatious stuff going on.
Mm,
Are we gonna have to send people to horny jail?
apparently.
Maybe.
Because like I will go and if there's rebellious stuff, I will go in there and find some peacekeepers and shut that shit down.
Oh yeah, and I was also about to say like us GOs need to like upload our stat blocks and we need to actually fight these viewers. I will kill you guys.
Well, you know, this is a really good idea for a one shot for the VIPs.
Oh my god!
I would love to play as
Viewers
Ragna.
versus GOs, let's go. Tigris
I'm
is
so
gonna
into
destroy
it.
all of you. You guys are dead. I have so many fireballs.
All of the fireballs.
I'm giving
Well,
myself
and
a
Ragna
staff
is so
of fire
fierce.
so I can cast even more fireballs.
Okay, what? Oh, go ahead, please, Laura. I thought you were.
No!
You were done.
No, I was just gonna say like I created Ragna just as a fun like viewer persona, but the more like I'm in her head, you know, like I'm just like I really want to play her like in an actual campaign. Like she's really
adorable.
fierce.
I love
We've
her.
heard a number of people, several people now mention that they want to apply for season 3 with their their kind of capital socialite character in mind.
I did think of that, but I also have like 50 bajillion other characters in my head, like a lot of D&D friends I have. So yeah, I don't know. I might put my hat in the ring for next time. I know I did sign up, but I pulled out because life. But maybe
Yeah,
season
sure.
3. Maybe
Yeah.
season 3.
Well, this is a lot. I mean, you know, we have even the game makers. We have a little bit more flexibility to catch up when we can. But if you're a tribute, this is happening in real time because if you're, even though it's a play by post, if you're like busy for 1 or 2 days, your allies are like running away with ideas and like making more alliances at this point. This game is moving like the
Yeah.
pace of this game is so much faster than season 1.
That's a surprise. I mean, I love it because it just shows people are really excited. But yeah, season 1, you had like maybe a day in between some posts, especially during the game itself. Everybody like got busy. But now it's like I blink and suddenly there's like I didn't even know the Bird Alliance existed until somebody mentioned it, and I was gone for like 5 hours today, and suddenly there were more alliances.
I am glad people started talking to each other about the coins. That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Yeah,
Oh, it's like the topic.
Yeah.
And like actually on that topic, so I'm gonna move on to another viewer. Thank you again, Laura. So Lemmy, we teased a little bit, maybe accidentally tonight, and then there's been so much speculation both across attributes and viewers. Lemmy, what are your thoughts with the coins? What do they mean? What is gonna happen? What's the point? You are muted. In case you are hearing us. If not, I'll move on. Okay, you are unmuted, but we still don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You sure can.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, so the coins, I mean, I have a favorite guess. I know it's wrong.
Well, hit us.
Yeah.
We're not going to confirm or deny.
Totally. I think it's what the tributes are thinking too, that each coin is like a different section of the arena, maybe different cornucopias. I know it's going to be more complicated than that, but I think they're running with it.
Interesting. Okay. And so in that case, how do you think that like what would be your strategy if you were a tribute? What would you want to do? Because obviously there are several alliances that are building strategies around that assumption. Because I've of course seen that assumption floating around. What would you do if you were a tribute?
I think theirs is pretty smart. I'd probably do something similar. They kind of had the disadvantage of they already had two people pick different coins. I obviously would probably have everyone try and pick the same coin. But yeah, it was really smart trying to get Lana to pick the different coin. Obviously that backfired, which was fucking awesome.
So are you a Lana fan? Is it Lana or Lana?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, what is it?
No clue.
What do we think? I'm gonna go with
say
Lana.
Lana. Yeah.
I'm just thinking Lana because Archer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lana.
right.
Lana.
So are you a Lana fan?
Yeah, I think she's awesome. I think she's kind of an underdog, which is weird because she's a career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Lana is like, she was one, even though our interview was like kind of serious, she was one of the more like memorable ones. She was really fun to interview.
She's very serious all the time, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's laying low in a way. She's still fighting people, which my violent heart adores. But
I feel like she's role playing her profile picture like to a T.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she's not,
I like believe Lana exists.
yeah, and she's not falling into the trap of like more alliances is better. I think she's being very selective with the people that she allies with, which I respect. And that's how honestly people should be approaching these games. There's only one winner. Like we're not
It's gonna make the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, we're not gonna let BS happen. We're like, oh, what if we all repel? No, it's the capital. We're gonna just kill all of you and start again. Like,
they tried that in season 1, and we were like, all right, here's a wall of force, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
what if we just all kill each other? Okay, we'll kill you instead.
Yeah. We had another plan in case they actually tried to run away from the arena.
Yeah.
So I know that you mentioned that publicly once, but it was like in passing. Do you want to tell the viewers now what we had planned?
So last season, the arena was surrounded by a river, and if you crossed that river, you ended up in just a desolate wasteland. And then, if you started going through that wasteland, ancient dragons are gonna show up and start attacking you. So.
Yeah.
And take a guess as to how many hits from an ancient dragon a level 4 character is gonna take. The answer is -1.
Less than 1.
Yeah. Yes, somebody in chat, not many.
Not many. No.
So speaking of chat, Krat said my background is fourth wall breaking. No, I'm Senna. Okay, so it's not Senna. I'm not Senna. I am Caesar. And Caesar actually, he wears very tasteful hair, not wigs, hair. And this is Caesar relaxed at home.
I think that they're just laughing at Seneca like bopping into the background there.
Well, those are my thoughts. It's like a thought bubble.
Oh, you're just thinking of him all the time.
Yeah, it's because he's my hubby. Oh my god, this is actually kind of creepy. It looks like a meme.
It's like when people go to like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and they're like leaning up against it, like pretending, you know what I'm talking about. That's what you look like right now.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. I'm gonna put everyone on the spot here. Everyone that's in the chat, you're about to talk, so get ready. Who is going to win the second season of the Hunger
Ooh.
Games? One name and one name only.
Do we get to
We're
go
gonna.
too?
Yeah, of course. Why don't you get us started, Tigris? Tigris.
Whew. Yeah, I always forget which one it is. I think it's Tigress. I don't know.
Okay, we'll go with Tigris.
So I'm torn. As much as I want it to be like, because I basically paid Lorelai to be a sorcerer, I think it might be. I'm torn between Pollen. I genuinely think Pollen could win this. I also think that Saphira could win this. Or Lana. I gave you 3 names.
So you're breaking. Nope, you're breaking rules. You have to give one name. One name. It's got to be difficult.
I hate this. I'm picking those.
You're
3,
meant to.
and then I'll let
The
fate
first one that
decide.
you mentioned was Pollen, so your choice is Pollen.
I do think Pollen has a lot of potential, and I think that she plays smart, and she's in enough alliances that people aren't going to be gunning after her immediately. And she has very close character bonds with other tributes that were like innate in their backstory. There are not a lot of tributes that do that where their backstory relies on another tribute.
Yeah, right. Although more than there were last season.
Yes, I think we have like Rowan and Pollen, and then like
there's Yuka and Becky.
Yeah, and then there's
there's 3 sets of siblings.
There's someone else.
Kit and
Flower and Kit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a Pollen. We got one argument for Pollen. Seneca.
I think Rowan for sure.
Wow.
Pollen's younger sister.
One of the two.
Well, Pollen did say that she would sacrifice herself for Rowan, so I'm actually with you now. I changed my answer.
So Pollen's playing a really good social game, is in it for Rowan, and then Rowan, if push comes to shove, is a halfling monk, which means that her speed and AC are going to be bonkers if she starts leveling up, and then she also has halfling luck, which it's like
that's great.
She's going to be very hard to kill, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Okay, so we haven't heard from Drew in a while. Drew, who is your one and only one winner? He's too busy betting.
Oh man, that's a tough one. See, I have reason to believe that the siblings would have a harder time winning because one of them isn't going to want to go on without the other one. So like in my mind, that automatically puts like Colin and Rowan out. But then if you look at like the little tiff that Kit and Flower had, I don't feel like he has that same loyalty towards Kit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to cast my vote for Flower.
All right.
Yeah, I think Flower is a really compelling choice.
And the cat Gymkhana brought up, if Augustine can keep strategy at the front of his mind, he can win. He is getting a little wrapped up in the social game.
Yeah, I don't know. Augie seems to play the game with a sledgehammer, both socially and strategically, and I'm just not sold. I personally think Augie's not gonna last that long, but I hope for his sake that I am wrong.
You say he's playing with a sledgehammer, which is ironic because he is a wizard.
That is pretty ironic, yeah. Okay, so one spicy meme. Who's your one and only one winner of season 2?
Probably Pollen for the reasons previously stated.
Wow. So we've got 2 Pollens. There are 24 tributes. So the fact that 2 of 4 people have said Pollen is really compelling. 3 people, actually. 3 of the 4 now. Wow. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to Zarsha. Zarsha, who's your one winner?
I think it's going to be Ro. I want it to be Pollen. Like, my heart wants it to be Pollen. But Pollen's going to do anything for Ro. And she's going out there making alliances not for herself, but for Ro. Mm-hmm. All of it's going to Ro. She's already said everything that, like, sponsors give her is for Ro. Rose stacked.
Yeah, wow. Because that is having two players playing for you is pretty strong. And we have from Misa that that her I think we'll call they. So their heart says Tiberius or Flower. So we've got 1.5 votes for Flower. That's our first mention of Tiberius. What do you think, Laura? Who is your one winner? Laura?
Okay. Well, it's gonna show off my favorites then.
Oh, well, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be favorite. Remember, like, who you like is different than who you think is going to win.
Well, but I think that they're gonna win though.
Well, now that you've said that, that's fine. Well, then you don't have to say. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
You're
Well,
not
I will
comfortable, that's
say
fine.
it. I think that it is kind of obvious in terms of Ragna, but I think Augustine could win.
Okay. Why
I think,
so?
I think. Well, one, he has the brains and the brawn, and he is kind of playing the social game pretty well, in my opinion. I think he's kind of like an underdog.
He does have intelligence and strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being a
I wonder
Goliath
what-
actually might help him with the whole like weak wizard trope.
I wonder what school he's going with.
I don't think people know he's a wizard either.
They
haven't
might
seen
not.
them.
I didn't know he was a wizard. I thought he was an artificer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we thought he was an artificer.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
the
playing
audience-
that pretty
Us government officials, we haven't like explicitly like hidden the character sheets and stuff. We just haven't really like. How do we even get all that information to you? But it's not like overtly a secret. So
I
but
can
it's
make a little
interesting to know.
cheat sheet for the viewers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
That'd be great.
And you guys will also be able to easily figure it out once they start fighting each other because like, all the Eldritch blasts are gonna come from the warlocks and the druids are gonna be shapeshifting and stuff. You'll see those features come out.
We already
I'll
have
bet
a cheat
he's
sheet.
gonna go. Sorry, go on.
You have a
Oh,
cheat
you have a
sheet?
cheat sheet? Yeah, we made one.
I love it. Yeah, we'll get an official one to you all. So
Yeah. Like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say having a cheat sheet is different than like knowing
Yeah.
for sure that something is the case.
Yeah.
I'll bet he's gonna go War Wizard.
Oh, that would
so-
be interesting.
So Lemmy, who is your number one? Who do you think is gonna win?
I think it's gonna be Ayla. She has some cool alliances. She doesn't have the target on her back like some of the other people do. She's a death cleric, and I'm sending her some awesome shit.
Nice.
Oh, death
yeah.
clerics are gonna be like kind of crazy in the arena too. I
Yeah,
love
It's such a cool approach.
the death and grave cleric classes are like two of my favorites.
And her entrance in the interview. Oh my
So
god.
amazing.
So cool. So cool. I feel like sometimes people put so much work into this debut, and I hope that I'm doing them justice by like making a big deal of their outfits because like they're so impressive, and I'm like I feel like what do I do with this? How do I do justice to it?
The fact that Ketchov literally wore the outfit in real life,
Yeah.
I freaked the hell out. I was like, that was the best moment of my life.
That's cool.
I want Kate to do well, but I don't think they're going to.
So my choices, I saved them to last. I have a top 3, but I will count them down. Unlike some people.
Excuse you.
I'm kidding, kind of. I'm just kidding.
You're gonna
So
die first.
That's fair. Of the Geos, it's probably the case. So third place, I think for me, would be Ayla. I've got Ayla in third place. And I'm not saying because of alliances and stuff, because I'm not following that because I don't have time. Not yet, at least. I'm going to catch up on it, hopefully in spring break next week. So Ayla, my second place best chances are, no one mentioned him, Gary. I really like
mentioned
Gary's.
Gary
He's
and
awesome.
Kat. Yeah.
I like his role playing. I think he's playing like a good, like not over the top, but strategic and likable, which is like exactly Thyra's approach, for example. And then my number one is Lorelai. I think because she's in so many alliances, I don't think that the game is mature enough for that to bite her in the butt.
Right. I don't think anyone's pointing her out as a threat.
Yeah, and I think that having those alliances is going to protect her.
And I don't
Right.
think people realize how much she's like two-timing people right now. And she has like so many people wrapped around her finger right now. It's kind of insane. And I love the messy approach that she's taking. So it's just going to be a question of like, does that bite her? Yes or no? By the time that they are like more in the arena and able to potentially separate themselves from larger alliances, it might be too late for people to do anything about it.
Yeah, right. Season 2, you heard it here first. Season of the Messy Queen.
I love it.
Yeah, Season of the Messy Queen. So, by the way, Gymkhana actually knows Augie in real life. But Gymkhana knows the school that he's going to choose. Gymkhana, can you tell us?
Also, our very own Cinna says that Flower was #1 at the reaping, but if Genie can play it smart, they have a real good chance. I definitely agree with that. What I am going to be interested in is to see how far they go with their weird idea of like pickling people's fingers to revive them. That is the weirdest stuff that I've ever seen, and I'm just sitting there like, you know that we could literally confiscate that from you, right?
Wait, all I can confirm is that the government officials have had extensive conversations, because remember, every room that the tributes enter, including the bathrooms, they're all mic'd and videoed. Like, they can't go anywhere, do anything without us knowing. And so we are well aware of this plan and have counter plans in place.
The thing that like
Gymkhana,
oh, go ahead.
Gymkhana confirmed my suspicion that Augie is going war wizard. Yeah.
Somebody goes, better keep the pickled fingers away from
Oh
the
my
wizard
god!
folk.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
I love
What if
that.
we just give it? Wait. What? Okay, this is not gonna happen.
No,
but what
it's
if we
gonna
like?
happen now.
What if we like take their little jar and we're like, okay, thank you, and then we just like play like the lizard folk just like wake up and then they're just like right there and they're like, ooh,
make
pickles.
it like a sponsor gift. They would love that. They would be so happy.
One of the lizard folk players literally has talked about collecting bones from.
Yeah.
Well, both of the siblings collect bones as a hobby.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I hope there's a lizard folk alliance.
There is.
All these people just waiting for their profile pictures to be done.
Yeah, what are they called? They're
lizard queens.
It was.
I think it was lizard queens.
It was longer than that though. They had something like the boss ass lizard queens or something like that. Whatever it was amazing. There was like a full name for it. But yeah, I love the lizard.
Okay,
queens
now I'm
so
looking.
much.
They haven't been the most active.
Yeah. Which honestly
maybe because they are waiting for their portraits.
And it might not be a bad thing during this, because all of the really active people are getting really messy right now, and it could come back to bite them.
That's true. That's a fair point.
The fact that the training grounds does not actually help your game at all besides the social game, playing it very safe and quiet, even though you might not have like the amount of alliances other people have, like if you can find like 1 or 2 people that you're really close with and not spending all your time messing around in the training grounds and yelling at each other, like they're kind of painting targets on their backs inadvertently, and people forget that they exist.
Do you think it's helping the more visible people though earn sponsors?
That would be the other thing, but recency is a big thing in psychology, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna forget about what happens in the training grounds the moment that one of them does something cool in the bloodbath.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the lizards are absolutely going to go into the bloodbath as underdogs, and if they do anything cool in the bloodbath, people might catch on and be like, oh, I want the lizards to win now.
Think about Lane from season 1. Didn't do anything in the bloodbath, basically like got his thing and ran. Went off and did his own thing for the entire season, and the sponsors only sent presents to Lane because everybody freaking loved how creative he was and how he kept saying his internal monologue and how he kept trying to befriend all the monsters. Like, he was just this
They also loved that he was like the only person left who was not in the major alliance.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
Hey, by the way, Krat jumped in and said, "What you're thinking of is the Girl Boss Raptor chapter."
oh yeah, which isn't
Well,
the
that's not
name
the
that I
actual
want it to
name.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
good.
what I'm
It's
gonna
so
start
good.
calling them.
I love it.
Speaking of the Lizard Folk Alliance, Babette is hanging out with them too, right? A little
I think
bit.
that sounds right. Yeah, I think it's the three. I think that Becky, Babette, and Yuka are all like close.
Yeah. What's Babette up to?
We haven't talked much about her. Yeah, apparently Yuka loves Babs,
Aw.
as Krat says.
Babs.
I love
Babs is
Yuka.
a warlock.
Ooh.
Yuka's accent. I can't. I love it so much. That
It's
sort of like disjointed lizard speak is like I'm so
I
here for it.
love it. I think that the lizard folk are going like all in, and I love
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah,
also,
totally.
once y'all see like the artwork that is being created, like I just am like we had somebody volunteer to make artwork for the lizard folk because we had such a hard time making those portraits in Artbreeder, and like Cinna and I are not artists. We're good at, especially Cinna. Oh my god, like Saphira's portrait, amazing. We can edit Artbreeder pictures, but we're not gonna draw freaking lizard folk.
Yeah.
Unless you want, like, I mean, my portraits are amazing. Have you seen Caesar's portrait? Like, chef's kiss.
It's still my Facebook.
I know, and I
profile.
love it because I get notification because you know you have your people that like you interact with a lot, so you get notifications. So apparently now I get your notifications. So I always see it pop up, and I'm like, aw.
Oh,
But yeah, that was like the artwork coming for the lizard folk, adorable. Like the little like blue or it wasn't a blue tongue skink, it was another kind of skink, and then the other one that just came out is an iguana.
Yeah, the iguana. I saw that. Yeah,
So
it's so cute.
It's really cute. It's just really sweet. I'm just very excited about. And what I love, and I pointed this out before, but I'll point it out again. Like, you know, it's hard to not be disappointed when you see people in the audience that do not get reaped, and you're like, man, like that person was deserved. Like, we had like 50 people on our list, and we can't pick all of the people we loved, so we're sad for the people that don't get picked, and we would be sad no matter what. But I feel
Wait, are you talking about the? Oh, sorry. Are you talking about the reaping?
Yeah. So
okay, because that was random.
Yeah, well, it was, but like, you know, you have a list of 50 people that you adore and that are super active.
Okay.
You're gonna be sad no matter what because you want everybody to get a chance, and not everybody's gonna get a chance, right? But this season is kind of proving to have a really strong community of tributes. They're all trying really hard. They're all taking it very seriously. So it makes it much easier to deal with the fact that you're like, you know, upset over the 30 tributes that didn't get picked that you wanted to get picked, even though it's not mathematically possible. It's like, okay.
And also that the audience is like grows more.
The fact that we're doing audience characters this season, like.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that the audience is growing more attached. To them, so. So I think that I'm like we're probably bumping up toward the end of like my possible like energy cap. But like moving forward, what does this look like? So I know that Seneca is, and we've already announced this. So Seneca is working on a betting system that viewers will be able to use to bet on characters. Do you have any updates?
Not on that. We're working on it. Well, tonight I'm pushing the inventory features to let people exchange items or junk items out of the inventory. And then also we are working on sponsor scoring cards that we are going to set loose in a channel, and all of you will start being able to vote for the scores we give to these tributes.
Yeah, so and this is sort of like something I said in the chat, but because someone asked, are the viewers going to be able to like have input? And the answer is definitely. We can say that the scores will be anchored by the viewers in most cases, but at the end of the day, the government officials will come together and make decisions, and some of them may not look like at all what the viewers say, depending on certain circumstances. So, so we have that coming. Obviously, people are going through the interviews right now. A few people are done with their evaluations, at which time they'll choose a coin. Once everyone is done with their evaluations, we'll give them a little bit of time to prepare, right, right, Seneca, and then we'll go ahead and
We're
schedule
giving
out
ourselves time to prepare.
right, and then we'll schedule out, which is important because we still have preparation to do, and then we'll agree on a time for the bloodbath.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
The bloodbath is always an adventure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride that
Yes.
first night. Yeah. Okay, well, any last thoughts from anyone? Anyone from the audience that is with us on Discord? Any last thoughts, questions, observations before we call it a night?
Love you.
Aw,
Oh.
that was sweet.
I learned this from a friend.
That's terrifying.
It's a double heart. It's not
Why?
terrifying. Because it's great. Look
But
at
there's
it.
2. You're not supposed to have 2 hearts.
I wonder if I can do 3. Hold on. Kind of. I tried.
Okay, now it just looks like you have just like a bunch of eyes on your face.
That's not creepy at all. Wait, I see some unmuted people. What else? Lore and Zarsha, see y'all unmuted.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna ask who everyone thinks might die first. I know we talked about who we think's gonna win, but like, who do you think's first out?
I love that question.
It's Genie or Lore.
Ooh, I don't agree with
Agreed.
that.
I could
Gonna do
see
it just
that.
Ron.
I could see that, but I kind of want to say Kit would be my guess as to who dies first.
I mean, we all think that Lana might be an underdog here, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, we have to also think about, like, is there going to be another, like, sort of, like, Serlina situation from season 1 where they were quickly targeted because they had ruffled some feathers? And
I think that people are a little more. I think in general, people are better about boundaries this season than that.
well, there's definitely still some enemies that have been made. So
There are, but it's not. It hasn't got to the point
Yeah.
where people are like, I'm mad at this person out of game, so I'm going to
yeah, and there's also
make
not,
sure
like,
they're not in the game going forward.
there's not a villain yet either.
Right.
So,
Uh,
but there's still time.
I still, I definitely don't think. I personally don't think it'll be Lorelai or Jeannie. I think they're both so interwoven.
No,
But
I was joking.
yeah, okay. I oh no, I had it. It went away.
I'm so
What was
sorry.
it? No, don't be sorry. Damn.
Maybe
No,
some
I
like
think
really
it all
inactive
depends on where they
person.
start,
Oh.
right?
Okay, I'm there. Hold on, I'm gonna forget it again. And Del, we were just talking about her. I actually, for a long while, I think it's gonna be Lana, simply because there are so many people kind of, that she's on too many radars for the wrong reason.
Mm.
And I think that the tributes are going. They're so much closer with one another, both in role playing and not, than season 1 on average. And so I think that they're going to be looking for the easy pick off first because they won't feel as badly about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
She's been beating a lot of people up too.
That doesn't help.
Gymkhana points out Lana might get the first kill. That wouldn't surprise me. I could see a couple like one-on-ones kind of breaking out during the bloodbath as well. And we don't know what the bloodbath is going to look like yet. We don't know where tributes will be in relation to each other. We don't know which tributes are going to be like close enough to fight each other. And even in like season 1, the bloodbath tribute platforms were not chosen randomly.
Yeah, and they're pretty far apart too. Like if you were on the opposite side of the circle, you weren't going to be able to focus each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So unless
Do you guys know?
Oh, go ahead.
I just watched Hunger Games, and I had thought that the platforms were in a circle around the cornucopia, but actually they were in a semicircle in the movie.
Oh, I kind of remember that now.
Which is weird to me from a balance perspective, because wouldn't you want to be on the end so that there were not people on either side of you? You're like way safer if you're on the end of the semicircle.
But there was some sort of weighting system with that, wasn't there? Or was it just 1 through 12?
I don't know that they went into that.
No, I feel like they did in the books.
I was watching the movie and there's like this brief cut to like an odds screen on like a super big like projection in the main square of the Capitol or something, and I like paused it and I looked at like all the odds that were listed, and I was like, that's incorrect. Like they literally copy pasted like different parts of the
Oh
board
no.
because they were
Oh my
saying
God.
like Cato had like a 1 in 3 shot, and then someone from like District 9 also had a 1 in 3 shot, and I'm like, no, that's not. Cato was the one to beat at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laura, what was your thought? Your kind of closing thought?
Well, I think the first one to die is probably going to be Genie or Lore, because I think I'm not a fan of the sloppy bitches. So, personally,
Fair enough.
They need
Fair
their
enough.
own Sloppy Bitches Alliance channel now.
You just
can't
don't
wait.
like the ones that steal your name.
Oop.
That too. But also, I cannot wait for the bloodbath.
I think that if Genie dies, she will die well.
Yes.
She will be an entertaining person to watch die.
Oh, wow.
Gymkhana points out that Ian Pip might be the first to die.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
He's a warlock.
Yeah, it's like if he can keep his distance, and that's a big if, then he'll be fine, and he can get a lot of kills in the bloodbath. Like if he doesn't get greedy, he's going to be really powerful.
Yeah,
but
Warlocks
he
definitely
is
come in
physically
with a bit of an advantage in the bloodbath too, because you
Yeah.
can cast Eldritch Blast with just verbal and somatic components. And as a reminder, you don't need an arcane focus or a holy symbol or anything to cast verbal and somatic spells. You only need that for a material component spell. So Eldritch Blast, 120-foot range, can down somebody pretty quickly.
If I were him,
have very high early game advantage.
Yeah, if I were him, if I were what is he, a halfling? I think he's a halfling. Pretty sure he's a halfling.
Isn't he a gnome?
Is he
Hold
a gnome?
on.
He's
Ian
small.
Pip is deep gnome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm a gnome warlock, right? I'm playing like a game that involves picking up items when I can find them on dead bodies game. I am not like fighting in the middle of bloodbath. I'm actually gonna back off and make sure I'm not in range of like, most people, and then just like pow, 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 and like catch people as they're like getting hit.
Yeah.
That's what I would play. That's how I'd play.
Absolutely.
If he's not that smart, then he could go first because he's gonna be fragile.
Right, and that's the thing to remember is like a lot of the spellcasters have that very early game advantage because they have access to a lot of their kit, but they're also weaker. So once, the fighters, for example, the sort of chunkier classes, once they get access to the rest of their features through like armor and weapons, they can just run up on a spellcaster. Suddenly they don't have their ranged spells anymore.
Ian Pip is not fragile.
Oh.
What? What do you mean he's not fragile?
He is, first of all, he's a fiend warlock, which means they get a little higher defense than the other
warlocks are
patrons. And also, his constitution is at a +2, so he has 10 hit points, which is high for a spellcaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He's also a little slower, right? 25?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many warlocks are there? Because is Ian Pip Clementine's a warlock?
Someone else was it Pearl?
Maybe.
No, she's a cleric.
I think Pearl is a person. We haven't heard much from Pearl.
Vargach is a paladin. Maybe it is Clementine who is the only other one.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
We might end up seeing some multi-classes into warlock too.
Babette's a warlock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting.
Isn't Babette a warlock at Skyrim? Wasn't it like the child vampire or something? Am I on drugs?
Are there warlocks in Skyrim?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Oh my god, I was trying to unmute myself, but yes.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm
yes.
I'm not just crazy. Thank you.
I love that game.
She was in the Dark Brotherhood.
She's fucking creepy.
Yeah, she's like a child vampire, and since vampires don't age, she got bit when she was like 9.
Yeah, that's gonna be Babette in the arena for sure.
I love
We found
that.
the inspiration. We discovered her inspiration.
She's in
Nice.
so she's in the Dark Brotherhood, which is the assassin guild in Skyrim. So she's this
Yeah.
little girl that uses or she's not. She's like so she's 500 years old. She's not a little girl, but she tricks people into like helping her because she looks like a little kid, and then she kills them.
Nice. One final thought. But she's a vampire, but assassin, not a warlock. Oh, okay.
I was close.
The alchemist mentioned. I just want to address this because we haven't said her name much. Wanted to see Safiria do well, and I gotta say that Safiria's entrance is probably my favorite. Like the description of the outfit and then like the whole presentation of it is just so like I was like ah.
And she's a snake person.
The interesting thing with her is that yeah, that's true. But the interesting thing is that she doesn't. She's not like the most active, but when she's active, the role playing is so vibrant and meaningful.
It is.
She's very high effort.
Yeah.
Poster.
Yeah. Okay, darlings. This has been so much fun. So of course we have Tigress, not Tigris, or maybe Tigris.
I don't know.
And then
Somebody correct us.
That way. And then this is Seneca. Of course, you have me, Caesar, and then.
Pointing the wrong way.
I know, whatever. It's like, am I? Wait, I'm pointing the right way on my screen. Oh no! Oh no! I'm dabbing. Okay.
Maybe.
We also have Senna, that is with us and been helping us moderate. So thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We're hoping to do this every week, so you're welcome to join us. And next week we'll make sure that we make an announcement. Until then, enjoy reading up. By the time we see you again, hopefully most of the interviews will be complete and maybe the evaluations. We'll see where we get.
I want by next week to have almost all the evaluations done. We're going for it.
Okay, that's our goal. Well, I'm gonna do the interviews as quickly as I possibly can. That's all I can promise.
I feel like you're like a good way through a lot of them. You're doing great.
Y'all, I'm trying because it's literally like every break I get, I'm like, okay, gotta get some interviews done.
I haven't seen the sun in several days.
It's like literally in between classes, I'm like jumping on my phone. I'm like, okay, answer a couple. Okay, all right. Much love, everyone. This was a lot of fun. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us. See ya. Toodles.